Hello, students of Class 8. Today we shall be doing English 2, Chapter 6, The Bishop of Digne, written by Victor Hugo. Now, before we start, I'm sure we all have an item or object at home that is very valuable and precious to the family. Will you give it away to someone just like that? Well, you might be able to answer that question after we read the story. Shall we begin? The Bishop of Digne had given everything valuable except for a set of silverware and a pair of silver candlesticks that had been given to him by his mother. One night, Jean Walzo, an ex-convict who was jailed for 19 years for stealing a loaf of bread to feed his hungry family, comes to the town of Digne, where no one will give him food or shelter. Finally, he knocks on the bishop's door. Let's read ahead. So here I want to mention that the bishop here is a noble or a good person who takes care of the people, especially the poor, the needy, and the sick people. Digne is a small town in the country of France, all right? And an ex-convict here means a person who is jailed because he or she committed a crime. So here we have the Bishop of Digne, okay, who had given up everything valuable except for two things: a set of silverware. Silverware means those plates and cups and bowls and spoons that you use at home, okay, but here it is made out of silver. And a pair of silver candlesticks. Candlesticks are candle holders. Those days, remember, there were no electricity, so they use candles. So he had a pair means two candlesticks, and a set of silverware given to him by his mother, which was very precious to him. So one night, Jean Walzo, an ex-convict who was in jail for 19 years, was finally released. But nobody wanted to give him food. Nobody wanted to welcome him to their house. So finally, he had to knock on the house of the bishop. The modest house that the woman pointed to was occupied by the Bishop of Digne, his sister Mademoiselle Baptistine, and their old servant Madame Magloire. The bishop had never lived in the church palace, but had given it to the townspeople for a hospital. He lived simply, and his door was always open to the many poor, sick, and needy. Even tonight, when rumors of a dangerous stranger circulated around the town, the bishop would not lock his front door. So the bishop here, he knew that there is a person who is out of jail and who is coming to the town, but he was not afraid, not like the other people. Instead, he left his front door open. And remember, the bishop had a church palace. That means he had a very good house, but he had given up that good house for a hospital, and he himself lived a very simple life along with his sister Baptistine and their old servant Madame Magloire. So to Walzo's amazement, when he banged violently on the door with his fist, he received a warm welcome. So Walzo, okay, he must have knocked door to door, and he must have been refused by almost all the people. And finally, when a woman pointed to the bishop's door, he was so frustrated, he was so angry that he went and knocked the door violently. He banged it, okay? And what did the bishop say? He said, "Monsieur, come in, sit and warm yourself." So Walzo was very surprised. He was like, how can this person be so good to me? Okay, and he is telling me to come in and to warm myself. "You didn't say, 'Get out, dog.'" Slowly, Walzo's hard, gloomy expression softened to one of delight. So he started to smile. Okay, at first he was having this angry face, but now he started to smile. And he said that, "You did not tell me to get out. You did not call me a dog. How is that possible?" Then what does the bishop say? "You have seen much suffering, but eat now." And Walzo looked at the food and he was like, "Your food is as simple as a wagoner's, but I am grateful." So a wagoner here means a person who pulls carts, okay, who pulls wagons. So he says, "Your food is so simple. It's like a simple man's food. I am very thankful. I am very grateful to you." Madame Magloire placed two silver candlesticks on the table. These, along with some silver cutlery, were the bishop's were the bishop's only valuables. He had given everything else to the poor. So the bishop apparently was very generous, and he loved helping people. So he had given all his other valuable items except for those two silver candlesticks and silver cutlery. "How do you know I am not a murderer?" says Walzo. And the bishop says, "God will take care of that." After dinner, the bishop handed a candlestick to Walzo and guided him to an alcove room next to his own. So the bishop gave Walzo a small room, okay, next to his, and he gave him one candlestick. Walzo was exhausted. That means he was very tired. He did not even climb between the sheets, but lay on top of the bed and fell into a sound sleep. A few moments later, everyone in the little house was asleep. Then Walzo had a dream. "No bread, brother. No work, sister. 20 years for one loaf." Now Walzo could not sleep. He remembered his brothers and sisters having no food, no work, no money. They're all hungry, okay? And then he remembered himself going to jail for 20 years. And then he started thinking, he has so much and I have nothing. As the cathedral clock struck 2, Walzo awoke. He lay thinking of his years as a prisoner, of his poverty and his lost youth. He thought of many things, including the bishop's silver. So cathedral here means church, okay, the Catholic church. When it struck 2 o'clock, that is in the morning, early morning, Walzo woke up. He started thinking of the years he spent as a prisoner. How many years? 19 years. And he started thinking of how poor his family is, how hungry they are, and how he had lost all his years because he was in jail. He thought of many things, and finally he started thinking of the bishop's silver. Walzo got up and crept into the bishop's room. He saw that the bishop's goodness lit up his whole face. Okay, so when he saw the bishop's face, he could see only goodness on the face of the bishop as he was sleeping. For a moment, Walzo was overcome by emotion. He started to feel sorry. The moment passed, and he took the silver cutlery from the cupboard in the bishop's room. So for a moment, he felt emotional towards the bishop. But then that moment passed, and then he went and took the silver cutlery, that means those forks and spoons and knives, okay, from the cupboard in the bishop's room. He crept from the room, thrust the cutlery into his bag, and jumped from the window. He ran across the garden and disappeared into the night. You can see in the picture that he has been running, okay? He ran away, stealing those silver spoons, forks, and knives, and jumping out from the window, he ran across the garden and disappeared. Unfortunately for Walzo, he was spotted by the local police and arrested. However, when they took Walzo to return the bishop's silver, they were all astounded. The bishop said he had given Walzo the cutlery and also the silver candlesticks. You can look at the picture there. He says, "You forgot the candlesticks," and he's smiling. And the police are very surprised. So when Walzo was running away, the local police saw somebody running away in the middle of the night. Imagine at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody is running. So they caught him and they arrested him. And when they checked his bag, they found those silver spoons and forks. So they realized that this must belong to the bishop. Then they called him. But they were all astounded. Astounded here means greatly surprised. The bishop said that, "I have given him all those things. In fact, he forgot the candlesticks." Then the police said, "We thought he had stolen the silver." And the bishop says, "No, I gave it all to him." Walzo and the police all looked at the bishop in disbelief. They could not believe. When the police saw he was serious, they left. And Walzo felt both bewilderment and gratitude. Why was the bishop being so kind to him? A thief. The bishop fetched the candlesticks and handed them to Walzo along with the cutlery. Then, before sending him on his way, he reminded Walzo that he had promised to use this wealth to become an honest man. a promise that Walsall could not remember making. So when Walsall was left alone with the bishop, okay, he could not believe. He could not believe that the bishop can be so good to him. And he had stolen from him. Walsall had stolen from the bishop, but yet he was very good and kind. So the bishop told him, well, I'm giving you these candlesticks too. And you have already promised that you're going to be a good man. And Walsall started thinking, did I promise to become an honest man? Did I? So the moral of the story here is that goodness and kindness can change a person's character, can change a man. If you're good and kind, no matter how people are bad, no matter how cruel the world is, you will always see goodness and kindness in others. So this is what the bishop had done. He could see that Walsall can become a good person, that Walsall can become a kind person, that he can be of a respectable person as long as he chooses to do right. So instead of expecting Walsall to do the right thing first, he himself, the bishop himself, did the right thing first. He was kind to him and he was good to him. And Walsall had to promise that he was going to use the wealth. What is the wealth that he received? The silverware and the 2 silver candlesticks. Using those 2 things, he promised the bishop that he is going to become an honest man. So thank you, students, for your time. I hope you have understood the story, and the questions, okay, that are given at the end of the text will be given to you in a PDF form, which will be later uploaded in the school website. Till then, stay safe, stay at home, and continue to do well in your studies. Thank you.